Hello.
Welcome to the Local Drunks Podcast. I'm Saul,
I'm Danielle.
and we will be, of course, chatting about restaurant news, other things like that. The first thing we're going to talk about is what we did over the weekend.
Ah, yes.
So
Good
as you
old
can
weekend.
tell, well, I'll talk about what I'm drinking first. Like I said, we're for sale. So I'm drinking an Onda. It's 100 calories. It's a tequila seltzer. It's made with Blanco tequila, real juice, 100%. It's no added sugar and gluten free. We had a group of friends over for a barbecue last week, and they brought a 12 pack, and we only have like 3 left.
Any good?
No, they're not too bad actually. Really refreshing, really nice. The reason why Daniel's not drinking is because
I'm having water because I went on a bender, and even the smell of alcohol right now is nauseating. So I've decided to take it easy, maybe for a few weeks to months to years. We'll see.
he says this every single time,
I say this every single time.
and every single
As
time,
a true addict.
like 2 weeks
As
later,
a true
he's like,
addict.
"Oh no, I did it again," and I'm like, "Oh, you
I
did?"
did it. They call me Britney Spears.
They call me Brittany.
No, they don't. They don't call me that. I take that back. That's what they call him in prison.
Yeah, Britney Speared.
Britney Spears, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a fun time. Do you want to start?
What'd you end up doing?
So we went, a friend of ours, and we'll call him the Sachet.
We call him Spencer. We can call him by name.
I guess we can call him Spence. And I worked an event for St. Jorge's, doing caviar tasting / pouring. So we walk him to this place. I have no idea where this place is at. I found out the day of that it was actually in the city. I didn't know where it was. Nobody told us anything. They said, "We're black." And I said, "Okay." And so
That's
yeah.
funny because when I saw it on the list for work, I was like, "Oh, that thing's probably just in the back room or something." So we're gonna have to clean the back room since it's from 7 to 10. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Well, I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, caviar here? Interesting. But then they said it was at the Caviar Co. So I was like, all right, shout out to Cavco. They're great products. I've had more than enough of it to last me a lifetime at this point. I took the fattest shit the next morning, just completely
The caviar
blitzed.
shits?
I was like, oh, God. Just
Almost as
holding
bad
onto
as
the
cocaine.
88 railing.
Yeah, almost as bad as the cocaine shits.
I just right next to it. Just
Yeah.
like soft serve.
Alphabetically,
Yeah,
and
there,
also
there you go.
physical.
Oh, it was terrible. The caviar wasn't terrible. It was delicious though. So we worked we show up. This place called St. Joseph's Art Deco or whatever. And we have a box with just a cloth, a case of Baller, which is our American single malt, and what else did we have? Oh, and some books about Lance Dave and the distillery.
Like little advertising booklets.
Yeah, those little, I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, those little.
Yeah,
like,
the thick, but they're pretty large overall.
Yeah.
I was like, these can be condensed.
Yeah, they go in
consolidated.
like folders or something.
Yeah,
They're sales sheets, pretty much.
Yeah, I was like, this is like for sales reps, which was essentially what we were doing then. But we could have used something smaller. Anyway, I digress. So we pull up. I'm like, where are we at? And they're like, you're upstairs. And I was like, oh, okay. Everything all nice on the bottom floor. But we get in there, dude, and it's just like literally like it looks like the set of Around the World from the Daft Punk music video.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just feel like bump, 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 bump. And I was like, what the fuck is that? There's a lady on rollerblades just rollerblading around. They have the disco ball dancers just like in a full disco ball suit. It was a trip. I highly recommend checking out I Dream of Caviar Night. And this was the third year that they were doing this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was a thing.
I didn't mean either.
I was like, where have I been? I was like, oh, right, poor.
Yeah. Working. Because it's a Saturday night and
Right,
you're probably
exactly.
working in a restaurant
Right.
somewhere.
And which is funny because everybody else that was working there, I also knew them, and they were pulled into that service. But it was a fantastic vibe, a great overall like feel. I got pulled in. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, tonight I'm partying. And I should have really slowed down on the martinis, but it was really cool. There's like bears with chains, like statues pulling. I was like, what is happening?
That sounds wild.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. There's like a bulb with a go-go dancer in it, just like dancing with a
that's
ribbon.
cool.
I was like, that's pretty sick. Again, looked like the Daft Punk music video. And then so Spencer and I go upstairs to find our booth, And I was like, "Where's our booth at?" And they're like, "That's it right there." It's this rickety ass little like ice cream cart looking thing that barely stood stable. We couldn't even put anything in the bottom because it was like the wheel fell off mid service. Um,
Did
and
anything fall over after the wheel fell off?
No, Emily's like, the wheels are literally falling off this place. So I was like, yeah, dude. And we're standing there, and we're getting everything ready. And then my friend Victoria shows up. She's like, "What's up?" And I was like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing here?"
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "You have the wrong size caviar tin. We had a 0.5 kilo." And she comes up with a
damn
1 kilo trout roe.
Good Lord.
This fucking deep, dude. Just a bowl of ice. I was like, what the hell? And she's like, the Cavco lady rep comes up. Shout out to Hayden, cool lady. And she decided she's like, "Oh, you guys are just giving bumps." And I was like, "All right, cool." And so we're just doing trout roe bumps with baller, which matched because it was smoky with smoky. It was actually really good. It was like a savory boba once you take the caviar and you start chewing on it, and then you kind of just sip the baller. But it was really good. And then, of course, we took a little bit of an intermission from the station. We switched off, and we went downstairs and just ate a ton of caviar. They had a raclette station, dude, like just melting French cheese onto these little fried, I forgot what they call the little fried dough, and a slice of Iberico ham right off the leg. It was luxury. It was luxury. Sorry to make you jealous, and I hope Alini's watching this because you missed out.
Lord, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm jealous, man.
And then they're like, "Oh," I will walk up to the bar because me and Mike were looking for some martinis, and we walk up to the bar, and he's like, "Oh, you have to wait. They're only tray passed." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Well, here's a champagne cocktail in the meantime." And we're like, "Cool." Slam that. Go over, get raclette, hamon iberico on a fry bread, and which is the fucking dollop. I mean, a fucking do-a-daisy of dollop of this fucking caviar. And I'm just like, good Lord. It was a massive amount. And I just inhaled this thing, like probably like 1,200 calories on its own. And then I ran into an old friend there, and I was like, "Yo, do you know where I can get a martini?" He's like, "Oh, here, I'll take you over to one." And just that began the whole binge process where I was just like, "Oh, I'll keep drinking. I'm fine." I forget that I don't drink anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you don't drink as often as you
I don't
usually
drink as
do,
often.
yeah.
I'm usually in. I don't go out too much, but then like on nights like that, I was like, "Oh, I'm right back to where I thought I was," and overdo it. To the point where I couldn't get out of bed the next day. I was just like, "Oh God." Yeah, it was a disaster. It was, but the night was fun overall.
Was it really busy?
It was pretty busy. It was popping. Like, it was a good scene. There was like photo booths everywhere that you can take. It was really good marketing, honestly. There's a Pringles marketing, so there's just stacks of Pringles cans with caviar on them. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I couldn't imagine Pringles with caviar.
Dude, they're pretty good.
It's
like Lay's with caviar. It's like salty and crispy.
Salty and crispy.
That's all
That
you
makes
really
sense.
need.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Pringles unless they sponsored our podcast.
Shout out
I
Pringles.
love you. I'll jump out of a fucking man-sized Pringles can if I need
Just a
to.
tube. It's a
Yeah,
paper.
once you pop, you can't stop.
Oh God, that's what you're telling me, Mr. Pringle.
Yeah,
Telling him with the
just
martinis.
cash those checks.
Dude. And then you know what's also good with caviar, which I'm surprised they didn't have? Chicharrones.
Oh, yeah, chicharrones,
They're
yeah.
fire because they're crunchy.
It's a little bit like as down to earth and ethnic as like San Francisco cuisine says they are, like high cuisine says they are.
Yeah.
They're not really they're not really down with like chicharrones or something.
Yeah, they're like,
that.
no, not that.
Yeah.
We'll have trout skin, but not pig skin.
Yeah.
We at QPA at Quince, we had our barista station dude.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how he got into the barista station, in all honesty, but he's a cool ass dude. But he worked at a burrito time as a second job.
Nice.
So I'd always be like, "Hey, bro, bring in some pico de gallo, bring in some guacamole, bring in some chicharrones." And he's like, "Okay, I'll do it for you." No, Ignacio, shout out to Ignacio. And so he would always bring in chicharrones and all that stuff. So I will eat them mid-shift because I was always starving. I always eat throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
But we'd collect all the caviar samples at the end of the weekend. And we just sit in the back in the barista station, just scraping them out with chicharrones. Dude, it was fire. I mean, salty with a little bit of that creaminess. It was really good.
Nice.
Like, that's what they should be doing over there. Maybe next time, if you guys are watching this. But yeah, got a little wild. ended up drinking way too much, breaking down all the stations with everybody, and like just shooting the shit. They're like, "Hey, like, we get you're done, but we're not." And I'm just like, all right, whatever. And I'm just like, all right, yeah, maybe it's time for me to chill out. But then I got invited to another location, so I went, and then yeah, just kept drinking, which was not a good idea. When I ended up at Kilowatt, like I told you, and
Yeah.
then
How's Kilowatt?
it's pretty cool. It's like a rock bar.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the vibe over there. It's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But it was the Fernet for me that was just like, ugh. I drink the stuff, but when I was past a certain point and then I'm drinking that stuff, it's like I just brushed my teeth,
Oh yeah.
and I'm just like, all right, okay, that was too much. You know, when you just like that put me over.
Well, how many shots did you end up? Do you remember doing? Do you remember really?
I think I just did one or two
One or two.
and a beer, but
Yeah.
it was just after all that accumulated alcohol.
Plus, you had a bunch of fish eggs in your gut.
I had a bunch of fish eggs in my gut, which might have actually saved me from alcohol poisoning, honestly. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, that was a dumb idea.
Nice.
Yeah.
I am jealous. That sounds like a lot of fun.
It was a pretty good time.
I wonder how much tickets are to that thing.
$275.
Damn, never mind. So that's gonna be that's gonna be something
Yeah,
that's gonna
I
be
was
like
living
oh.
it up when
Yeah.
I went out. When I was like, oh, I'm just free reign? Okay, give me everything.
$5. Yeah, dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, they had my buddy Esteban. He's a baker. He makes this milk bread that's absolutely phenomenal. He's opening up in West Oakland, I think he said.
Really nice.
He signed a lease and everything. So when that gets up and running, I'll make sure to put it up on here. But his bread is phenomenal. And so they were using that little piece of bread toasted in butter with just a nice scoop of creme fraiche and caviar. And I was just like, good God. I couldn't stop eating
It
it.
sounds delicious.
It was really good.
Yeah, now I'm super jealous.
Yeah. But I'm paying for it now if that's any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you would have just stuck to caviar there and maybe some light drinking, you would have been like,
I would have had a great time.
yeah, you had a great time. But
I had
you
a great
would've-
time, but I would have had
Yeah.
I would have been at work the next day.
You would have been able to next day, yeah.
Sorry,
Still
Mike.
took the caviar shit, but
Yeah. It took the.
actually able to.
Yeah.
And the next day I was like, is Spencer and Daniel coming in? And they're like, they're texting you guys like 30 minutes after you're supposed to be there. And like, oh, I told them to come in later. I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, I'll stop bugging them then. You're like, I'm not coming in.
I was like, I'm dying.
You're like, I don't think I'm going to come in, bro. I'm dying. I'm like, oh, man. I looked at everybody. I go, well, Daniel's hungover, so he ain't coming in.
Facts. I bet you they're like pussy.
Yeah. And then Spencer brought this Welsh single malt that was actually really good.
Ooh.
Yeah, that dude, he'll be doing a segment if he hasn't in the next couple of weeks for us, where he's going to highlight. He has a pretty extensive alcohol collection,
Yeah.
so
very
he's
good
going to
taste.
highlight a alcohol per little short and talk about it really quickly.
It'd be good.
It
Good
should be
input.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome, though.
So now I'm drinking water.
Yeah. Well, you know, you're missing out on these Ondas, bro.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Make checks payable too. No, I was kidding. The local drunk spot.
Local
No,
God, am I? Boy, am I.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't fall asleep on the street, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad you ended up home. There's been multiple times where I've gotten completely wasted.
Where's the
And
weirdest
I've
place you've woken up?
If I'm driving and it's very irresponsible, especially with Fresno, where you have to drive everywhere, nothing's really by itself.
Terrible.
I think no, I don't know. I never really wake up in weird spots. I always am either at friends' houses or I end up just finding my way home. And then when I wake up, I'll like just look around and be like, how the hell am I here? And I'll like I've multiple times, and this is very irresponsible. And we've all been there, but multiple times I've run out to make sure my car is there.
Damn.
Run out to,
Make sure you didn't kill a
make
family
sure I
of
didn't kill
four.
a family of four. Make sure no one's like sitting outside in front of my windshield. Those days are long behind me.
Help me.
But definitely, I think the weirdest place, just couches. I've actually never like woken up in the middle of nowhere or in someone's garage, or it's usually someone's floor, like
Oh,
someone's
yeah.
living room floor or on their couch.
Using the carpet as a blanket.
Yeah.
that you ripped from the
Dude,
ground.
hardwood floors are the worst because you wake up and you're just like, yeah, you just stiff. You're kind of like, oh man, what did I do that for?
That sounds terrible.
And the weird thing is too, I think one time I woke up on the floor of some place, and I looked around, and they had a spare room, and they just didn't offer it to me.
What
or
the
they might have
fuck?
offered it for me, and I said no. I don't understand why I would say no.
Damn, bro, you can't let
being
your ego
drunk
get in the way of these
and
things.
being like, yeah, I won't sleep on that bed. So
That's terrible. You call that a duvet? I'd rather sleep on the
yeah,
floor.
I'd rather sleep outside in the bush. How dare
Like,
you?
sit yourself.
Yeah. What's the weirdest? Well, you said you woke up in Temecula last episode, but like, where'd you?
Did I? I did say that last. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a weird. That was a weird place because when I ended up at, I ended up in a few weird spots in that. One of them was a house party. One of the kids that was there, and I woke up on his couch, and his family woke me up, and they're like, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, "What?" And I just grabbed my things and walked out. But I'd say the weirdest places, like I told your family earlier, is that what is that, a Walmart parking lot? I've woken up in a Walmart. I'm not the driver, but as the passenger, and I'm just like, what? It's like and it's in the Central Valley, so it's like
Hot.
yeah, it's like 90 degrees.
The weirdest place I woke up was in Pixley,
What?
this little town in between like Visalia and Bakersfield, and Tulare and Bakersfield. Tulare is actually off to 99. Visalia is off to the 148 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was in 142. Someone will angrily post where it's off.
How could you forget?
How could you forget your
My hometown,
heritage,
brother?
And I had my car had broken down on the way up to visit my dad, because my half brother had been born, and I was driving up from Orange County at the time because I was living down in LA area, and my car broke down. And I called my AAA, and they're like, we can take you just as far as this, and that's it, because it was like 100 miles, but they only wanted to take me 50.
What the hell?
So they took me 50, and they're
That's-
like, where do you want to get
fucked
dropped
up
off
AAA.
at? And I was like, just drop me off in front of this gas station. So they dropped me in front of this gas station. I pushed the car to where in front of it, and I locked the doors and went to sleep. And I woke up, and there is this meth head just staring at me through the
hell
window.
no.
I just was laying like this, and I wake up, and I'm like, oh shit! And it's just staring at me.
no.
And he ran off and like jumped into like the sequoia tree or some shit,
What
and just
the
like
hell?
scurried up it. But I was like, holy
He's
shit!
like, I got room for one
Yeah.
more.
I was like, it's good. I don't know if it was a man or woman. I don't know what the hell it was. And I was like,
bro.
So I had tan roach, just 6
Tweakers
feet tall.
Tweakers are ambiguous. You know,
And then I called and got another. What did it? Yeah, I ended up calling and getting another tow truck to Fresno.
damn.
And then was there for like a day or two, fixed my car, and then drove back down Orange County. But yeah, no, it was definitely the weirdest place I ever worked. One of the weirdest places I've ever woken up was in that gas station.
That sounds
But I knew
terrifying.
I was actually going to sleep, so I didn't really think about that until now. But yeah, that was waking up and having someone watch you or stare at you while you're sleeping is
He's-
definitely.
He's like, well, how do I steal
Yeah.
this guy's shit?
Yeah, it was funny too because I had cracked the windows open just like a half,
Oh,
like a centimeter or
damn.
two, so I wouldn't.
Dude, if that thing would have been
you know.
any longer or any more further down,
that dude would have been asleep on top of me probably.
He would have been inside of you.
Yeah, it would have been. He would have. I woke up on a bed of ice with my liver missing and my kidneys.
Hey, thanks for the liver. Thanks for
Yeah.
the fuck shack.
Yeah, It was
Dirty
just-
Mike and the boys.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's probably.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, no. Pixley's no joke, dude. Pixley's really small, and you always drive by on the 99, and there's just there's a duck or a geese reserve. So it's a wildlife reserve for like ducks, and there's this big old sign that says Pixley, home of blah blah blah, and there's like a duck flying on it.
Home with the ducks.
Home of the ducks, yeah. But it's like
Quack.
a reserve
Quack.
for.
Quack. Quack.
It's funny because I don't think there's really any marshland or lakes down there because it's just been all sucked dry to like
makes
farmers' irrigation,
Just like the cheeks.
just like
the tweaker cheeks.
Yep,
Suck
just sucked dry.
dry. Just like their gums. Fuck. It's sad. That sucks. Yeah, those small towns, man, got ripped apart by meth.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, all over. But geez, even you go inland a little bit from the Bay Area and you'll find it too.
For sure.
That's funny.
Mostly farming communities. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what happens, man. It's- when people get bored, what the
Mhm.
hell else are you going to do? But yeah. It took a dark turn.
It's like a dark.
Just waking up in Pixley. From Caviar to waking
Yeah.
up in Tweakerville.
There hasn't really been that much news as far as San Francisco goes. I guess Tomaso's and North Beach sold.
I've never even been there.
Tomaso's. I haven't been there either. I had a friend who used to work in North Beach, and they had mentioned it one time to me, where they were owned for like 51 years by by some people, and then they just recently announced that they had been sold, but they're keeping it the same.
We'll see.
And other than that, there's just, I don't know. There really hasn't been that much news as far as food goes.
There's a couple of Bib Gourmand mentions.
Oh, were those recent?
Those were, as of last week, reported. The Birdle.
Oh, yeah, Burdell Oak, and then...
some Thai spots. It was a Hue 11.
mhm.
Anyway.
Took a small little break. We had a tri-tip on the barbecue, so I had to pull it out, and now we are back. But
Delicious.
anyway, so we're talking about some restaurant news, but have you been in watching anything? So forget about what you've been watching. Do you recommend a movie to go out and watch this week?
Go out and watch?
Yeah.
Well, this week is the opening of Deadpool Wolverine, bro.
Oh, that's right. But I meant like restaurant related.
I was like, that's where I'll be.
Yeah.
No,
If
actually,
we are
I'll be-
for sale, Deadpool and Wolverine.
yeah, if you want to sponsor us too. No,
Yeah.
I'll be working. But I would like to suggest movie food wise, The Taste of Things. I don't feel like not enough people are talking about it. It was very indie,
Mhm.
very they didn't have any marketing budget in the States. I think it's in French, but it's a beautiful movie and it's very
Mhm.
much classic cuisine. It's like based in early French restaurant days, like Escoffier is mentioned,
Mhm.
and a few other people as well. And it's just beautifully executed. Like watching the movie just gonna make you hungry as hell. But
Nice.
it's like super classic French cuisine. It's about all kinds of different things. Should I read the synopsis?
Sure.
It's like a love story,
Okay.
more than anything, but it's really cool. And they cook together. He basically it's this chef and the sous chef that have been cooking for a minute. This is Eugene and her boss Dodin have grown fond of each other after 20 years of their romance gives rise to dishes that impress the world's most illustrious chefs. When Dodin is faced with Eugene's reluctance to commit, he begins to cook for her. And some other stuff happens too. Oh, they only did 7.5 in the States.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not really good.
When did they come out?
February 9th, 2024, so this year.
Oh, so it's new.
Mm-hmm. Tran An Hung directed it. He directed some other ones too. Food movies. But
Nice.
yeah, definitely worth seeing. Super cool.
What'd you see it on?
I went to I forgot which theater in Berkeley. You know, one of those ones that you show up with all the people have white hair and it's like morning.
Yeah.
And watched there. Actually, that's not true. I went midday and there was like some people in there that was pretty funny. They were just everyone's like,
Oh, the food looks good.
Dude, the food looks phenomenal, and you're just like braised lettuces, huh? Just dripping in fat, and you're just like, fuck. Why didn't I think of that? It's a super classic cuisine. And then they talk about wine pairings. They talk about setting menus for the guests that they're going to cook for, like certain royalty and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's really cool. It's a beautiful film overall, shot beautifully. Food is exquisite. I couldn't recommend it enough. I'm surprised I don't hear more of my cooking friends. But then again, when do they have time to watch movies?
No, there's a long period when I was really in restaurants where I didn't watch a new movie in a long time. I would occasionally download like 20 or 30 of them that I missed for the year and slowly start knocking them off. But
Yeah.
you get home at 4 a.m., 3 a.m., you're trying to unwind, you might put a movie on, and then you fall asleep like halfway through it.
Mhm.
I have a bad habit of
Beer.
watching a movie to the end.
Damn.
So I
stay
would watch
up.
it, and then I wake up early anyway. So I usually wake up on the days where I'd get home. Those days I'd wake up like between 7 and 8, and then
Oh,
my day would
hell.
start. So it was hard for me to try to watch a movie because I get home and I'd be like, well, if I watch a movie, I'm going to be up till 5,
Mhm.
and I'll be up 2 to 3 hours later. So I shouldn't watch a movie. So I'd watch a TV show or something.
Yeah.
But
It's easier to watch that 30-minute already segmented full story arc than going home and you're like, well, I want to know what happens next, and then you're up for 2 hours.
yeah, no, it's definitely, it is very difficult.
You ever fallen asleep sitting up after restaurants?
I have fallen asleep sitting up before. I used to sleep. There's a restaurant I managed one time where I would sleep there. It was just
What?
easier. And then there was a gym in the area, so I had a membership where I kind of worked out a deal with the general manager where I'd go and shower there and change and go back to work. It was just easier just to be at the restaurant 24/7.
I thought about doing that.
And then I had a buddy who was doing that, and he was just living out of his car, and he had a gym membership, so he'd like sleep in his car, wake up, go to shower, go gym, shower, and then go to work.
I mean,
and
at that point, it makes sense too, because why pay rent when you could just you're at work all day
yeah,
anyway.
work all day anyway.
You just need a place to sleep.
So and then he'd like would hang out at the restaurant until we closed, and then he'd go sleep, and then same thing. It's super crazy.
That's brutal, bro.
Yeah, what I watched recently, food wise, was we just finished Julia. It's HBO's version, a dramatic version of Julia Child, and how she was able to get her show on air.
So it's about getting the show up.
Getting the show up, and then like PBS didn't really believe in it at the time. It was actually out of Boston, and then they were able to syndicate it, and all these other things happened.
Sick.
But it has some very real life people in there who are represented. It has her partner who's represented by oh my goodness, I forgot her name.
Stanley Tucci.
By Stanley Tucci. Stanley Tucci is not in it, surprisingly. He plays the husband in Julie and Julia. And then the guy who plays Niles from Frasier, he plays the husband this time.
What? He's back into acting?
Yeah, he's back into acting.
He didn't agree to get onto the new series for Frasier.
He said they didn't need him because they had his son. So he's like, they don't really need me. So I told him, nah, I'm good.
Have you watched
the series?
Terrible.
The series wasn't the best, but it could have been a lot worse.
Okay.
But I really wish that it's just Niles is nice. Daphne was nice. Like, have you ever seen Frasier? You've watched Frasier?
I adore Frasier.
Yeah.
Frasier taught me about culture before I was even, I was still in Selma.
It was well written. So they kind of missed that, and then they approached the because his dad had passed away like in the mid teens, I think 2010s or whatever.
Yeah.
So they approached that. Marty Crane and all this other stuff. But anyway, we're getting sidetracked. So, Niles, the guy who plays Niles Crane, man, usually I remember. Speaking of eggs, no, dang it. It's weird because I always try to remember. I'm always really good at remembering actors' names, and this time all the actors escape me.
Oh.
But it's a decent show. It is dramatized, so it is a little bit more fiction than fact. But it's a nice little show. And then like Fred Rogers shows up, Mr. Rogers shows up for like a quick 20 minutes for the episode. And then James Beard, I guess she was actually have a relationship with James Beard as far as a friendship.
Yeah.
And they kind of trance around the local area because he is based out of San Francisco at the time.
Makes sense.
And they do an all night drinking, like our friend over here with the caviar and the drinking, and she gets home super late, and it's a period piece show, and I kind of like watching those as well, and it's good enough to keep watching, but not great to where if you walk away from it, you won't be missing anything.
Fair enough. So what you watch Bridgerton and Downton Abbey as well? Or what?
No, I do not actually.
I thought you like period pieces.
I like period pieces, but I like good period pieces.
What's wrong with those? Those are juicy with the cheese, bro.
No,
my lady loves those. Did you hear what the Butler did last season? You're like, no way.
No, man. I think I don't know. Yeah, I just never really got into those. Bridgerton, or I tried watching Downton Abbey. Now it's kind of just like, it's just for people.
Yeah,
I could care less.
Yeah.
And then Bridgerton, I want to say I tried watching the first. I think I did try watching the first episode. And I was just like, this wasn't made for me. So then I just turned it off.
I'll tell you what scene's made for you, bro. When they saw those tetas on that thick chick, I was like, good gracious, those are looking pretty nice.
This guy. And plus I don't watch much TV, so I'm very picky about what I end up watching.
Fair enough.
So, yeah, I don't watch much TV in general. So like movies, TV, I'm pretty picky. Yeah.
Just like Frasier or?
No, well, I haven't seen Frasier. I watched Frasier when it first came out, so I was watching like the weekly episodes.
Yeah, those are fantastic.
I was probably early teens.
Bro, have you ever watched MASH?
Yes, I used to watch MASH reruns in the morning before I went and caught my bus to school.
What the heck? Yeah, me too. That's why they was played, right?
Yeah, so I remember watching MASH.
What channel's on? That's on 53.
That was on 53, UPN? And then it was also on KMPH.
KMPH.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I used to watch MASH in the mornings. They used to show Batman in the afternoons, the old '60s Batman.
Hell yeah! When you got back from school, that was perfect.
Yeah, but no. Interesting look if you ever wanted to know more about Julia Child. Like I said, dramatized, but I think they do actually pull stuff that might, at least the foundation of the show, I think is a little bit leaning more towards fact, and everything else is kind of fictiony. David Hyde Pierce plays the husband, and he's phenomenal. He's good in everything. He was in this show one time. He was in this movie, and it's called. Was it called? Something Guest, Dinner Guest, The Dinner Guest, I think it might have been called.
Uh-huh.
And he is phenomenal in it. So what happens is he's supposed to have this dinner party, and he's setting up for it, and this dude who just robbed a liquor store or a bank or something comes barging into his door and holds him up.
What?
And he all the stuff unfolds, and you kind of can figure out exactly what's going to happen.
Uh-huh.
But he's just a great actor, and I'm glad that he
dinner,
just kind of yeah, he kind of picks, good roles for himself.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, that's a good.
There's an episode of Frasier on that too. The dinner party.
The dinner party.
Dude, that one's fantastic.
That was actually really good. Yeah. All right. So any restaurants or anything you think people should check out this week?
You know where I went to a couple weeks ago was what's it called? Bird and Buffalo, Temescal.
Bird and Buffalo. Okay,
Yeah,
I haven't heard of that place.
Thai restaurant.
Okay.
I went for lunchtime, and I hear about it, but I don't hear that much about it. But the place was phenomenal. Like, they had a solid lunch deal. It was like you get like roti, rice. You can pick a chicken or a protein and a vegetable.
Okay.
And I think there was something else, but it was just a complete meal. And I got some chicken hearts. So they're the only few places that I've actually had like chicken heart yakitori, that actually wasn't chewy, overly so. Like, of course, it's gonna have some bite. It's all muscle, but this was actually edible. I was like, this is pretty good. So I highly recommend that one, especially because it's like outside cantina style, and then they have indoor seating as well. But the price point wasn't crazy, and the food was spectacular.
Nice.
I recommend that place for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, I have to go check that out. I haven't really hung out in Temescal that much.
It's pretty cool.
Outside of, I think, Rose's Tap Room.
Oh, sick.
And then Temescal Brewing, of course, is right there. But outside of those two spots, I really haven't bounced around Temescal at all. I know there's like Northlight Bar and some other places I need to go hit. There's also that new high dive tall boy that just recently up. But I recently opened up. I need to go check that out. And then
I've heard good things about that place.
You heard good things about yeah, that seems to be a favorite place of a lot of our coworkers.
Yeah.
So I have to really just spend some time in that neighborhood and just kind of.
It's a lot. It's very condensed.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Forma Bakery that just opened up. Which remember you tried the concha.
Mm-hmm.
That place is really good.
Mm-hmm.
They do a really good job at baking. And then next door there's a bagel place. Is it called? I forgot what it's called. Poppy's Bagels or something like that. That place is actually, it was so good I went twice in one weekend.
Oh, wow.
Remember that heirloom tomato bagel?
Yeah. That looks really good.
So it was like chive cream cheese, 2 slices of like a nice heirloom that's seasoned nicely, chives or chive blossoms, depending on if they have the mise. But it was killer. I really, really enjoyed it. However, I'll say this. With the quality of ingredients and care to the plating, it takes some time. So a lot of people are ordering ahead of time, and I'd highly recommend doing that if you're going to go and try that out, because it could take a while.
Nice.
But it was fire.
Is that where Oaks around there? I've never been to Oaks, but you like Oaks Deli a lot. You always talk about Oaks.
Oaks fantastic, solid. They're usually Monday through, I forget their days. I think it's like Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Closed Tuesday, Wednesday, and then sometimes they're open in the morning. I have to check their updated hours. Oaks is it's like kind of away from all that. It's on 40th and Telegraph.
Mm-hmm.
It's right next to my gym though, so it makes it tempting every time I want to go. I get done working out. I'm like, should I just go get a fucking fat ass sandwich? And they do one that's a sisig borillo, so they make their own borillos in house. They do all their baking of the bread in house. I think that's still the case. And it's phenomenal. And they do most of the prep for their actual meats in house too. It's actually one of the places when I got a wild hair up my ass. And I was like, I'm gonna get back into cooking.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, why? I was like, so I can work hard to be poor again, like. And but doing stage there, I was just like,
It's for the passion, sir.
yeah, for the
passion. Passion pays bills, bro.
Yeah, fashion pays bills. If that was the case, my photography career would have launched a long time ago. But this place does all their own prep for the most part. I think like their Italian combo they get from Molinari's, but I was just like, it's Molinari's. Like,
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
you can't beat that. But like from pickling to everything, like it's really thoroughly made. And Albert Oak, the owner and chef, has clear vision on everything that he makes, and so it's just solid through and through. And presentation is super important for them as well. That's one thing I noticed about how they make the sandwiches. So it's just like, does it look good with a diagonal cut? And it's like easy to post the pictures up and stuff like that. Which, yeah, I don't care about. I care about more the quality of the food. And the thing like the sisig burrito, dude, it's very, very rich, but it's like a head cheese with some like Thai peppers and then a fried egg underneath it with a ton of mayonnaise. They're not afraid to use the mayonnaise, but they make it all in house. So it's like, it's not like Hellman's, which I'm not knocking, but it has a different flavor profile. But it's like nice, you know what I mean? I don't know. We gotta go eat there one of these days.
Yeah, I have to go check it out.
Yeah, especially like after work or something, or before work, maybe. But yeah, it's solid. That place I highly recommend. So that's like all on the same strip. Yeah, they've been popping this month. Well, they've always been popping, but there's more in particular now that I'm just like, we want to head back. I find myself often going to the Temescal for more and more things.
Nice. That's good too, and everything's kind of centrally located. You have to jump around.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so many eating nooks and crannies all over the city, in the East Bay especially.
Yeah.
And then like, it's not like San Francisco where you can kind of just, there's large swaths of housing, but there's always going to be some place you can kind of pop into and eat. To where like, you get up to Richmond, you get down to, Albany or West Berkeley, and then you keep going to Oakland, and like it's BARTable, but it's a lot easier if you just can drive. So there's a ton of places you can kind of just be like, hey, I'm just gonna go to, to Mezcal today and bounce around. Oh, hey, I'm gonna go to, downtown Oakland, or I'm gonna go to, just a certain area and just focus on hitting different foods.
Right.
And it's really nice to have just a bunch of places right next to each other.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And then there's bars too if you want to stay for the night scene.
Yeah.
Ton of those.
There's not many bars where I live, so if any.
Yeah, you have to do some restaurant reviews out here, bro.
Yeah. The one place I went to two places recently. One of them.
Yeah, that Mexican restaurant.
Nah, that's the third place. There's a Mexican restaurant in my neighborhood that I completely just tore me up. Food poisoning. It was horrible. We'll be doing a restaurant review, and I'll probably talk about them as well because it's fair, and I don't know if I'll go try them again. It's just difficult but they've been there a while, and if you get there,
man. That's a pretty severe one.
Yeah, it's hard to go, and it's weird because there's so many restaurants in the Bay Area. Excuse me. It's hard to go back to a spot and try it again.
Yeah.
There's just too many options.
There's a ton.
But the place we went to was Momo and Kebab. Momo and Kebab is on Fremont Boulevard in Fremont. And they had really good food, Mediterranean,
was it kebab,
Middle Eastern, Syrian, and spot. And it might be Syrian. Don't quote me on that. But Middle Eastern spot for sure, focused. And whenever they have lamb, like shank, or like, leg of lamb, my daughter has to get it.
Dang.
And it was delicious. It was really good. And she is a leg of lamb. She's like 8, but she's like a leg of lamb connoisseur.
She's like,
so yeah.
perfection.
So she dude, like the kid eats, like when we were in Spain, she was eating rabbit and like deep fried sardines and all this other stuff. Like that kid eats everything. I lucked out.
You got somebody in a restaurant.
She really got into like onions recently, so she like wants to eat just onions, of like different types of onions, and try them out. I made some bacon and Brussels sprouts on the grill the other day, and she like was eating those up. She was like loving them. So yeah, I lucked out. She eats a lot of things.
Nice.
More texture is one of those things that she was not a huge fan of texture of some things, so she won't eat it. But like she likes mushrooms and all these other things, so she's a pretty big. But if she could find a place that we really like, Momo Kebab is really good, and they're super friendly. I walked in, I was like, "Hey, how you guys doing?" And they're like, "Hey, blah, 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 blah,"
What's up,
like,
bro?
yeah. So that, and then there's this place we went to, Niles, last week as well.
You went to Fraser's brother's house? Damn.
And Niles is actually this little area. It was actually originally a train depot, and then they named it after the train depot, Niles. And actually, there was this SNA Films was based out of there. SNA was originally out of Chicago, and then they made a studio in L.A. and they also made a studio up there because it was the train tracks. I think went straight to Southern California. So they made a studio, and actually, their SNA Films was actually able to pull Charlie Chaplin from his contract and sign him to a contract. And he filmed The Tramp there in like 1915.
Oh, shit.
Just up in the hills up here in Fremont.
No way.
Yeah. So
What?
I didn't know that. I went there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this is like, North Hollywood." And I'm like, "What the heck is that?" Like Hollywood before Hollywood. And I'm like, "What the heck does that mean?" And I did some research and stuff, and it's really cool. They have like a silent film museum there,
What?
and then they also have, it's cool. And then they'll do silent film, like they'll show silent films on the weekends, and they also have a silent film festival that happens in September. So
That's
I
pretty
might
dope.
I might take her to go and check that out. But it was cool. And then we had this one spot that was called, I saved it in my thing because
Nice.
my memory is horrible. But it's a nice little like town. It's Bronco Bills. If you ever seen any Bronco Bills, the Nile Cafe. I should remember that because there's this big Egyptian style painting on the wall. But the Nile Cafe, and we went to the Rose Garden up there, and then we went to a playground, and I was like, "Hey man, you hungry?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool, let's go eat." And we walked into this cafe, and the sandwich was like $6-7, and I was like,
What?
"Oh, they're like sandwiches are really inexpensive." So I walked in, and it sketched. It looked a little sketchy,
I was gonna say
and
six
I
to
was
seven
like,
dollars.
it was like super thin, really long. They had a little back patio. There's a bunch of people. There's some people in there, but on the back patio, there's like all the tables except for one are full.
Oh damn.
And I'm like, "Oh, this is weird." And there's a little Asian lady. She was super sweet, and she's like, "Can I help you?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're probably gonna order." She's like, "Okay, let me knock this sandwich out." And she did the classic like rubbed her hands on her apron and just started making the sandwich. And I was like,
She's like, "Excuse me."
"Do we leave?" Or do we stick it out? And I was like, screw it, we'll stick it out. There's not much. It was like a Monday or something. There
Okay.
wasn't many places open because they
Damn.
open up for the weekends because it's more of like a touristy
Oh, I
area.
see.
And then they leave. And I'm like, well, I got like $20 on me. Let's do it. So my daughter gets a chicken pesto sandwich.
Okay.
And then I get what they call the mix, which is like all 3 meats that they offer.
Okay.
And we go to the back. She's like, you pay after. I was like, okay, cool. So we go to the back, and we're sitting there drinking water, and it's like a little warm that day, and there's like bugs and that stuff, and it was fine.
Yeah.
And we like, they had their own, they're growing like basil and some other things. Like, oh, look at
Sick.
this, they're growing this, cool, that's cool.
Cool.
And then she comes down, she goes, oh, you guys sat out here? I was like, yeah, like we don't want to sit inside, it's a little warm. And she's like, okay. And then we're in the shade, and she brings these sandwiches out, and they're like stacked. They're like regular bread, but it's like they're stacked.
Damn.
And I was like, oh, okay. So I took a bite of mine. She cut them in half. I took a bite of my half. And I go, holy crap. Like, this is good.
What?
And my daughter takes a bite of hers. She goes, and her eyes get light up, get all big. And I was like, oh, damn. And I go, hey, how is it? And she goes, it's really good. And she eats half of it. And she's like, I'm holding mine. She's like, have a bite of yours. And I go, sure. So I put it out, and she takes a bite. She goes, oh, that's really good. It had a big red onion on it.
Nice.
Like I said, she's been into onions.
Yeah.
So I was like, you want to switch halfway through? And she goes,
Nice.
yeah.
The pro
So I ate mine,
strategy.
ate hers, and then we switched. And then I ate hers, and she ate mine. And then we walked around. We went to like this. They have a lot of antique shops, like a lot of secondhand stores
Oh, sick.
as well. And then there's like a ton of, what is that called? Consignment stores too. There's a lot of consignment stores. So
nice.
just people just put their stuff in there. And
Interesting.
a lot of stuff was closed, but there's some stuff that was open. We looked around and bought her some records, some story time records. She's a really big fan of like, hey, this is Gulliver's Travels on record, and then someone just narrates the
Ooh.
story. And then I took her to an ice cream spot, which was pretty good. I think they used ice cream out of San Francisco. I can't remember exactly where, but it was a pretty decent ice cream spot. But ice cream's just really expensive now. So it's like $5.50, $6 just for one
Bruh,
scoop, dude.
how is a scoop of ice cream gonna cost the same as a sandwich up there?
Yeah, dude. How's a scoop of ice cream going to cost as much as a quart of ice cream? It's wild to me.
They're like,
And
taste.
then they're
We have
like,
taste.
oh yeah, here's a pint. Grab a pint for $12. I'm like, am I gonna pay
The hell is that,
$12 for a
Humphreys?
pint?
They got a
Yeah,
Humphreys
dude.
up there, bro?
I was like, damn. And then they have this. They had two ice cream spots. They had an all natural spot that was all organic, and then they had another spot that used. I'll remember them in a second. But this ice creamery I think out of San Francisco, which is good ice cream, but
Yeah, that price.
it's a little pricey.
I'm like, just give me some Thrifties.
Yeah, give me some that Thrifties.
Yeah,
though,
call me, give me Thrifties and call it
oh
a day.
man, R.I.P.
Is it done?
No, I think they're out of They're out of CVS, aren't they?
Rite Aid, last I saw.
Oh, was it Rite Aid? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Someone bought them, and I was just like, but they're kind of hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, there's one in Selma.
Yeah, there's one in Selma. There's a bunch in Fresno. I haven't really seen any up here. I'm pretty sure they are, but I was like, but it's hard to get their attention too because they're so used to people not buying ice cream
Right,
from them.
exactly. They're just there stagnating.
Yeah,
Like,
and they used to have the
thing?
different. They used to have the different. They used to have a different ice cream gun. Like it would be. It looked like a caulk machine. You throw like the thing in there, and like. And what they ended up doing was it was just this long tube, and you shove it into the ice cream, and you click it, and it like shuts it, and then you put it on an ice cream cone, and when you would scoop it, it'd be like a cylinder.
What?
And it was sick. It was so cool.
Damn.
Yeah, and then they went to rounds. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
The days.
Speaking of ice cream, what about Lana's? Lana's is pretty fire.
I haven't had Lana's ice cream yet, but I had a burger from there.
You get the smash burger.
The smash burger is delicious.
You know who taught them? Smish Smash.
Smish Smash?
Smish
Okay, that
Smash
makes
used
sense.
to do pop-ups out of there.
Okay, that makes sense.
So they taught them how to do the smash burger. Smish Smash pop-up, fucking fantastic.
Okay.
They do that, the pho burger. I forgot. It's got like beet tac or something like. I forgot. But they do like, I don't know. It's like in the aioli, but it's just like that rendering of everything in that soup base. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And they do the tallow fried. So they use the beef fat to fry it like McDonald's used to do.
Nice.
Yeah, they're pretty slutty. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, we went. Me and Justin were looking for a place to eat, and I kept pushing off our hangouts to go and eat, and then because I don't have kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening was, I was like, hey, Sunday we'll get off. Sunday or Saturday, I was like, we'll get off. We'll go get a burger, and I'll drop you off at home, and I'll go home.
Sick.
And then I was like, I've been wanting to try. He's like, where do you want to go? This and this and this. I was like, I've been wanting to try Lana. So I sent him the Google Maps, and he was like, I'm in. And we parked fucking hella deep because there's never parking in downtown Oakland.
It's always packed.
It's the worst. And then parked super deep. Walked like 2 blocks, 3 blocks, which isn't bad. Oakland blocks aren't that bad. And Fresno blocks are bad. Fresno blocks are like half a mile.
Get accosted by 3 tweakers.
Yeah, dude. So Oakland blocks weren't that bad. They're shorter. So I walked over and we got in. And it was all like high schoolers working there. And I'm like, what the hell do you do?
Straight
Heck
cheering.
young, dude. And then I was like, hey,
They're like, what's bussin', brah?
Yeah, we got the special, which was the smash burger, because they have a regular burger too.
Oh, what?
And so we got the smash burger, and it came out, and it literally we both got it at the same time. We both bit into it, and we looked at each other like, damn,
Like, this is sexy.
this is good. And then so we knocked it out. Even the fries were decent, but I want to go back and try they have a regular burger, and then they have like 2 different styles of burgers, and then they have like the smash burger, which is their smash special.
Which is phenomenal.
But I want to try their ice cream too, just because
The ice cream is really
that
good.
place is good. So Lana's, it's over there on 8th Street, right off of Washington, 8th and Washington.
Yeah.
Really
Across the
good.
street from Benny's.
Yeah, right across the street
Bar.
from Benny's Bar. That place was closed when we went by. I was like, damn, they're closed right now. That place is usually open all the time.
Weird. Maybe hopefully it's still open. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never actually been there.
Me either. That's where Matson wanted to take you guys, right? Benny's?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
We ended up going to some random place where I was just like, can we leave now? Or is the bartender still holding us hostage?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Eesh." I didn't realize I opened the full-blown door to conversation. Like, I was like, damn, you must
Don't
be
just
lonely.
me out when you go into a bar and it's like the bartender's super chatty. Were they busy?
No, I was dead as fuck.
Oh,
that's
that's
why
why.
they just latched
Yeah.
on us. Like an energy
Yeah.
vampire from What We Do
He's
in the
like,
Shadows.
yeah, I just showed up to.
I was like, you're not even telling me facts right now. You're just saying shit.
Yeah.
I
It's
was like,
always
where did you
troubling.
get this?
Anyway, that's funny.
I was like, I got Google on my phone. I know you're lying to me. Yeah, I was like, okay. Yeah, that was a wild run. And then we both looked at each other and I was like, I think it's time to go home. He's like, yeah. Don't recommend that place. But honest is fire.
Cool. Check that out.
The Yemenis coffee place is pretty dope too.
Oh yeah, that just opened, right?
Yeah, Sana'an, the capital of Yemen. That place is pretty good. The people are very nice.
They stay open late too, right?
They're open till like 10.
Ooh.
So you can go in there and get like a baklava or some kind of sweet. Yeah, they're super chill. And it's like a nice place to read. It's very air conditioned. It used to be a Starbucks. So the AC is on point.
Nice.
So I usually just, if I'm off on the day, then I take my book in there and I just go read for a few hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then order a coffee. And you can get like a full coffee set where, it still has like the grounds and everything at the bottom. And it stays heated on sterno. And you just keep sipping. Yeah, they serve it boiling hot.
Yeah.
And then there's a chessboard in there, so if you want to just play games, I was like, that's pretty cool. But usually I just go in there to read. But it's a cool vibe. It's a nice setting. Very sterile.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that place.
That's cool.
Nice.
Time for that. Yeah, we haven't hit that many. We went to this Afghani ice cream spot around the corner from us that was really good.
Did they do the thing where they put it on a stick and spin it? No, what was it? That's Turkish.
That's Turkish, yeah. And then, but yeah, we went there and it was good. They were slamming.
What?
We showed up at like a 7:30 on like a Sunday, and I was like, yeah, let's just go, and it'll probably be slow or whatever, dude. We showed up. Every table was almost all but 2 tables were full.
Damn, bitch, you went to the
And
Afghani
people were
Fentons?
sitting, yeah, dude. And then like we hit everything. I ordered. We got to the table. It took like 10-15 minutes for it to come out.
Damn.
They called. We went through. We ate. And while we were waiting and eating, like 30 people came in and out. It was
Holy shit.
busy. And I was like, oh, damn.
Was it
But
good?
it was delicious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it was
that
so
makes
good.
sense.
I'm like, dang. But they must have let out after service or something. But yeah, it was just like, it was super
What was the
packed in
flavors
there.
you got?
I had this like rose water ice cream type thing
Bomb.
that was super good. My wife had like a traditional Afghan ice cream type thing. And then they had 2 of them, and then the rest they had just like soft serve flavors. So my daughter got a soft serve, and she liked it a lot.
Fire.
And then the wife got one of the classics, and I got the other, traditional. And they were both delicious. And I was like, oh,
Bro,
man.
we gotta go up there. I'm trying to try that.
Yeah, it was good.
I'm trying to wait in line.
So, yeah, but it's weird because you don't order from them. You walk up and order from a kiosk,
What?
and then you just wait.
That's
And
weird.
then they yell your name, and then you go
I
out
don't know.
there.
I mean, I
So-
call me old fashioned, I guess.
Yeah. So it must have been something that they did during COVID, and they just like kept it like,
Yeah, it makes
no
the
reason.
most sense.
There's another place that was like that too, because we went to boba around the corner. It was fine. We went to this boba spot. So my daughter got into boba because she's 14 now, and she's not that old, but she acts like it. And she happened. Oh, what she do? Oh yeah. And we walked in, and they had the things, and the kiosk. And said order at the kiosk, but there's like 4 people just standing around, and I was like,
the
you guys
hell?
aren't gonna just take my
Just like,
order?
sorry, can't
And then they
talk
had
to
a
you.
register too that they could have easily taken our order at. And I'm like, you guys aren't just gonna take our order? What the heck
Nah,
is
bro,
that?
That's a Gen Z, bro.
Super wild. And but I still talked to the person, and I'm like, hey, what do you recommend? And she's like, well, what do you feel like? And I go, I haven't had boba
She's like, sir, talk to the machine, sir.
in probably 20 years. And she was like, that's real. All right, what are you in the mood for? And I was like, oh, something good? I don't know, dude. But it was weird because you can get the teas, and then if you wanted to add, you add boba to it, and it's like 75 cents or something.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, that's weird, because most of the time when you order boba, they just give
Comes with
it
it.
comes with it.
It's like chilaquiles.
Yeah,
What do you
dude.
mean? What do I want?
What do you mean
eggs?
you want eggs? Yeah, what do you mean they're offering me?
Shout out to Kamal for not giving you eggs with your chilaquiles, and that one pissed me off. That one was just like,
that's
bro, come on.
nuts.
Oh, did the camera die?
I don't know. Oh, maybe.
Oh, yeah, that thing's closed. Switch to audio.
We'll figure it out one day. It's like I hit record and it said it was recording, but
It only does X amount of time. We might have to go into the actual settings.
yeah, I'll have to go in. I'll have to just play around the setting in general because I was checking the. I saw it was like turned. It just said high, So I'm gonna kick it to low, so it's like crispier.
I see.
So it's just one of those things. I just gotta check. I just gotta mess with the settings of this thing.
Yeah,
But anyway, we'll wrap it up there,
Yeah, sure.
and then we'll see you
wonder what
guys
time to
next
cut out.
week. I guess we'll find out. I didn't even look over there after a while.
I know. I was like,
I was
oh,
just busy,
that thing
just
was.
chatting and stuff.
I was like, I'm not trying to burn my retinas off.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, these bright lights. We'll start shooting earlier in the day, so we don't have to have it on that high.
Well, at least we
But,
know how to set up now, so it's
Yeah,
efficient.
we are learning. But if, like I said, this is a Local Drunks podcast. We were talking about Bay Area stuff, some hometown stuff as well, so both from Central Valley. If you are watching us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and also that bell notification if you want to know when we post stuff. We shot a couple of cocktail shorts, I guess you could say, today. And then we also are going to do a little bit more educational stuff as far as shorts go. We have a lot of fun things planned for you guys, as well as doing restaurant visits and all these other things.
Hell yeah.
So definitely
You see how many restaurants will kick us out?
stay tuned. And then also, too, since we do have a lot of industry experience, we're going to try to talk with not just the owners / marketers we'd like to talk to, the workers, and talk to the chefs and stuff, see exactly what goes into the process of cooking or making different things or what inspires them.
Yeah, so if you have any questions about any of that hospitality, or questions about getting into hospitality, just hit us up.
Yeah, we'll probably have some Q&A sessions. We also have a Patreon as well, at Local Drunks Pod on Patreon. Same thing with Instagram. And we'll going to be just give $5 a month, and we're going to get a good inside peek at behind the scenes of our podcast, as well as hopefully some behind the scenes of everything else. We're going to have some exclusive things on there as
Even
well.
our shower curtains?
And yeah, you said it here.
No, that's for the OnlyFans.
The OnlyFans, yes, the Only Feet. But yeah, if you can, hit us up there, subscribe. We're going to have some extra stuff there for you guys as well.
For sure.
Other than that, my name's Saul,
I'm Daniel.
and thanks for tuning in.
Drink a cold one on us.
Drink a cold one.
Actually, not on us because we're broke as shit.
Yeah.
That's why we started in this thing.